This video covers resource libraries and their use in estimation projects. The next video will cover the administration and creation of these resource libraries. So to access the resource libraries, you need to open any project and then go to Resource Library window. This window practically has nothing to do with the estimation project, but this is the path you use to access it. The resource library contains multiple resource price lists. Here we have the Admicom resource price list, and then there's a Tokoman resource price list. This Admicom resource price list, of which you can see the resources here, actually has resources, but the Tokoman resource price list doesn't. If it did, the Tokoman resources would just be added to this list with the first column saying Tokoman instead of Admicom. Or more specifically, it would say T2308 here in this column. But they're all in this massive list. Anywho, all resources have a unique identification system. So we have the resource type, work, material, subcontracting, and then we have resource group and an internal sequence number. So for example, if you look at these resources here, pile extensions, rock tips, rock points, and pole caps, they all belong to the same resource group, 122, and then they have their internal sequence number, which is their order. The sequence number is a bit complicated in this example. It could just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next resource group could once again have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do we know which resource group each resource belongs to? Well, this is once again a classification system that could vary from country to country. The classification system that our resources use is based on Building 2000 classification system. So where we have work with some internal subgroups, and then in the material, for example, we have in the first group land and regional construction products, and under these products we have mining, foundation, soil, etc. And within the foundation products we actually find the group 122, pile extensions, pile caps, and pile shoes, into which all of these belong to. There's an even deeper level that we haven't used here, but of course it could be used. It's a good way to separate your resources by category or group, because usually a statistical office of the country releases some sort of index information about the costs and the prices separated by these different groups. And then when you start updating the resource price lists, you can use the indexes to help you. Another use for these resource types, resource groups, and sequence numbers is when you need to update your resources in an estimate. There's also another way to identify your resources, and that's the internal ID shown here. So when the first time you upload these resources to your system, the system will give you your resource and internal ID to make it unique. If you don't see these columns, you can adjust the columns here. Let's take a look at how you update prices in this new project estimate using this price list. So you would open the estimate and then you would select all the resources in the resource window. And here you can also see the resource type, resource group, and sequence number. We can search for new prices and then choose whether we want to find the resources by using the internal ID or the resource type, resource group, sequence combination. This is slightly more preferred, but it could be up to the super user or whoever updates your resources in your company that which one is better. Then we'll choose the resource library we want to use. This time it's the Admicom resources, and then we try to find matching resources in the price list. In this window, we can see that only a few resources in our estimate correspond to resources in the resource library, and not that many prices have changed either. So basically just the rebar and the veneer board have had price changes. And if I'm fine with these, I can update the resource prices and they get updated in my estimate. So try to use the same resources as often as you can, because that makes updating the prices a lot easier. And try to avoid creating new resources within your estimate. So when you're doing estimation, try to find resources that already exist in your resource library or your reference projects, so you're always using the same resources. As said before, the next video will cover the creation and administration of the resource library's price lists. So we'll be creating a new price list here and creating some resources there.